up with that dog shit pick. What the fuck were we thinking? What the fuck were you thinking?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Jimnasium. As always, it's me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only, Chase Maction Bronson, a.k.a. Lupine Fiasco Sessoms. What's up, my man?
Jim, I'm here, but I think you're here with me in the same spirit, and that is the spirit of protest.
Yes, 1,000% we are here to protest.
For one, there are many things we need to protest. One is that ski masks not allowed to be worn in public in Philadelphia anymore.
Yes, 100%. That should be disallowed.
And two, the sham that is the college football playoffs.
Absolutely disgusting what the college football playoffs have done. We're already freaking out Uncle Rico here.
Yeah, that was the
beautiful
goal.
Day. Chase,
we should all be a little freaked out today, Uncle Rico.
Everyone should be freaked out. So let's just go through it. Today on this show, we're going to discuss the college football playoff final rankings from 25 all the way down to the disgusting and I would say reputation ruining top 4. We're going to go through conference championship weekend. Agreed. First off, agreed. And then we're going to go through all the bowl selections. And then we'll see what we're feeling after that. Chase, let's start with the top 25, the college football playoff top 25, because they did it on a Sunday. I wish they would do that more often to help us out during the actual season. Oh, yeah. At 25, we have Kansas State.
Now that they're busy fucking people in the ass, there's a little bit of an expediency to it, you know?
Exactly. At 25, we have K-State.
Okay.
I think that's kind of like, I think K-State's like a good 20 through 25. That's kind of like your barometer.
Yeah, they're about where that's a nice little burp that just came through on me there. They're kind of what we said they were going to be all season, which was they played themselves back into the top 25 team. You know, they were. Hold on.
Chase, you gotta hurry up then.
Breaking news:
Jacksonville State Line is dropping the lock of Chase's century right now.
Lock of the century, Jack State. No, but kids. They did exactly what we thought they were going to do. They're a top 25 team. They played themselves back in the top 25. No problem with that.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that one. At 24, SMU at 11-2.
Really?
It feels disrespectful almost.
It feels a ton disrespectful.
Yeah.
They just beat a team that went into the Cotton Bowl last year. That's pretty much the same team that went to the Cotton Bowl and beat USC last year.
And they did it without their starting quarterback.
How about a little respect for the SMU Ponies, man? Like, come on, the rules changed. Like, they play by the same rules as everyone else now.
Exactly. Apparently, I would sure hope so. I think they're the best G5 team.
I think so too. I think after they beat Tulane, there's no question they're the best G5 team.
At 23, at 13-0, it's Libibity. I mean, they're undefeated. Like, talk about like a cake schedule.
Right.
Didn't play a single P5 team all year.
Didn't play a single P5 team.
You want to hear something funny? So they're 13-0. They get to go to the Group of 5 New Year's 6 spot because they're 13-0, but they didn't play a hard schedule. But Florida State going 13-0 doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. No, not at all. Oh, God, I can't wait to get to that.
Number 22, speaking of which, number 22, Clemson Tigers at 8-4.
What the fuck are they doing in the top 25?
So these 22 and 21, I would get both these teams out of here. Because 21 is Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'd get both of these teams out of here.
How does Florida State's win over number 22 isn't worth anything?
No, it's not. It doesn't matter at all. No.
Oh, my God.
At 21, Tennessee, the Volunteers.
Yeah. I mean, why?
I'd maybe have them like a fringe top 20.
Yeah.
But, yeah. One of the kids I used to coach, his dad was on one of the runners that we. Oh, that's pretty sick. That's pretty cool, Eric.
That's awesome.
At number 20, it's Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
Feels about right.
It feels about right, but I honestly, after that performance in the Big 12 championship game, I could see them just getting kicked the fuck out of the top 25.
So I listened to Colby's like instant reaction and whatever about the stuff last night. Oklahoma State did have a very easy schedule when you look back at it.
They had an easy schedule, but I mean, honestly, can you really say anything different of anybody else in the Big 12?
No, I mean, Texas, I guess, had. Well, I'm trying to think. Oklahoma State still had to play Iowa State. They still had to play K-State. They still had to play Oklahoma. They just didn't have to play Texas during the regular season. That's really like it.
Yeah, and then they still got them in the Big 12 championship game. I don't know, man.
No, I mean, I don't know. I would probably.
I put that less on K-State, on Oklahoma State's schedule. I'd put it more on the fact that Gundy, for example, just doesn't do his. There's a trophy on the line.
No, he really doesn't. Once there's actual like stakes on the line, he'll fall.
Don't worry, Jared. We're getting to it, buddy.
We'll get there. At 19, it's Oregon State, and I feel like this is about right.
That's a good ranking. I'll give them kudos for that one. That is a good ranking.
At 18, NC State. Shout out Dave Doran for quietly they're always consistently 8-4, 9-3.
Yeah. What does Dave Doran do? He wins 8 to 9 games.
Speaking of which, Iowa 10-3 at number 17.
It feels a little bit disrespectful, but the way that they just got absolutely handled by fucking
Michigan
and Penn State. Okay, I think
the best teams they played all year handled them.
Absolutely smoked them. Yeah.
At number 16, Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's a quiet 16. That's a very quiet 16.
It is a quiet 16. They kind of had a quiet year. That Louisville loss is bad. That Louisville loss, we kind of just stopped listening to Notre Dame after that.
Yeah, that's true.
At 15, Louisville.
Good season, Jeff Brom.
Great opening season.
Yeah, you think that if they were worth their salt, or if FSU was not as good as everyone thought they were, then they would have won that ACC championship game. Turns out they didn't.
Shout out Jack Plummer.
Jack the Snack
Plummer in his like 18th year of college football, looking like someone who was playing their first year of college football in that game.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It's crazy how people kind of fold up like lawn chairs whenever a damn trophy is on the line.
At 14, we have the Arizona Wildcats. Shout out Jeb Fish.
Yeah, that's a heck of a turnaround. I kind of thought that they might be on the verge of like making a bowl game this year, and they just went way past a lot of people's expectations.
They were maybe the third best team in the Pac-12.
I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. After it's all said and done, I think that's very fair to say.
At 13, we have the LSU Tigers at 9-3.
Yeah, okay. 9-3 in the SEC. I think you need to be in the top 15.
Yeah, I think they're a great team. I think like they're a great offensive team. Defense let them down a lot this year. I think they have the Heisman winner.
9-3 in the SEC West. You need to be in the top 15.
Yes. At 12, you have Oklahoma, the Sooners, 10-2. Okay.
I think they're a bit overrated, and I think that they were carried by a very, very soft Big 12 schedule, which makes Texas's loss to them look even worse to me.
I think they're a good team. I think I would probably have Oklahoma realistically kind of down where Notre Dame is.
I agree. I like
in,
that
like,
placing. Yeah, totally.
At number 11, Ole Miss.
Fair. Good season for Ole Miss.
Great season for Ole Miss. 10-2, great season for Ole Miss.
Yeah. They have never had shit down in Oxford, so this has got to be just fantastic for them.
At number 10, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions at 10-2. It's so hard to rate this team.
Yeah, because they look so bad against the only two teams that are competition that they play.
They were decent against Ohio State even.
You almost want to say that like they should just be a skosh above Iowa.
They dominated Iowa though.
Right.
So the issue with ranking Penn State, especially when they don't play like the toughest out of conference some years, usually they do a pretty good job of scheduling at least one really good out of conference, but this year they played like West Virginia.
Yeah.
They dominate everybody who's not Ohio State and Michigan. I think Penn State might get a boost or get like a drag from the new teams entering the Big Ten, because it's at least something that's around more their competition. Like they won't just be, oh, we're either way below these top two teams and way above everyone else. It's going to shake up the middle a little bit.
And plus, with like the way that they're doing away with like divisions and everything, I got to think that it's going to work out for them where they have it scheduled where they don't have to play Ohio State and they don't have to play Michigan every single year.
They might luck into a year where Penn State could go undefeated in conference and find themselves in the championship a little more often.
Yeah, without having to run into Ohio State or Michigan in the process.
As an aside, I feel like this conference realignment in the SEC and Big Ten helps schools like LSU and Penn State, and to be honest, it kind of super fucks over schools like Arkansas and Nebraska.
I know, dude. We are headed for dark times.
I had a very real discussion with one of my buddies. He got really pissed off, and I was just like, I don't think Nebraska makes a conference championship game in 20 years. I think that was realistic.
I think that is realistic.
I think both Arkansas and Nebraska have a higher shot of making the playoffs than making a conference championship game.
I agree. Completely agree.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
okay, at 9 we have Missouri. Shout out Missouri. What a year for Missouri.
Yeah. I
mean, Chase, you like to pretend they don't exist. You hate them. It's fine.
Yeah.
I also don't like Missouri, but damn it, they were a good team this year. Yeah. I think they were the third best team in the SEC.
They might have been.
At number 8, Oregon Ducks, 11-2.
Small dick energy.
But they were a good team.
Yeah, I think if they beat Washington that second time around, then I probably have a little bit higher opinion of them. But I mean, Washington, let's be honest, that really wasn't much of a game until late. Like Washington kind of put a thumping on them.
I just think Kalen DeBoer is a better coach. I like Dan Lanning. I like his small dick energy, what he does for Oregon, but I think Kalen DeBoer is just one of the best coaches in the game.
Yeah, going for every fourth down is the smallest of small dick energies.
Shout out, I think Bo Nix is playing in the bowl game too.
I mean, he's living like he. All right, so I used to hate Bo Nix. I feel like the Auburn stink has like rubbed off of him, so I don't have to hate him as quite.
It might be completely off at this point.
Yeah, and I think that he's living his dream playing college football, kind of like he said at his final press conference thing. And so why wouldn't he play the last game? You know, like I think he's the kind of person who really doesn't care if he plays in the NFL or not.
I do wish, like Jared was alluding to earlier, that it was a better matchup. We'll get to that in the bowl matchups, but do you know off the top of your head who Oregon's playing?
I don't.
It's Libibity.
Oh my god,
they got the G5 New Year's 6 bowl.
Those are two pretty fast teams, but like Libibity's small.
Yeah.
They real small.
At number 7, we have the Ohio State Buckeyes at 11-1.
It's crazy how you lose one game to a number 1 team and you fall that far.
Yeah, it's actually, when you think about it, technically they have the best loss.
Yeah.
Out of anybody.
They have a legitimate claim to that number 4 spot, dude.
I mean, they should have. If they're going to be putting like, if we're going by the committee's like own rankings, they should be probably like ahead of Georgia and maybe even ahead of Florida State if they're doing this bullshit.
I agree.
At number 6, we have Georgia the Bulldogs. I mean, tough season for them. You win however many games in a row. You win back-to-back national championships, but that's the rub of it.
I'm with Jared here. How do they fall from 1 to 6 in a very close game? And honestly, we're putting all sorts of stock into like Jordan Travis being injured. Like, Georgia had an injured Lad McConkey. They had an injured Brock Bowers. They actually sat those guys in the Georgia Tech game.
Mm-hmm.
How are we not factoring that in? And how are we dropping them 5 here?
I really don't. Based on the committee's criteria, I feel like Georgia should probably still be in, and Ohio State should still be in. I mean, to speak absolute truth, with the 12-team playoff next year, this wouldn't matter. Both these teams would be in.
No, but it's crazy that that stinks that much, right? Like it's crazy that it stinks this much.
Yes,
we'll get to it.
Speaking of which, at number 5, Florida State.
Oh my god.
At 13-0. How do you this I think Tom Fernelli tweeted it out perfectly. It just goes to show that the games don't really matter apparently.
That's it.
The games don't matter.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so if the games don't matter, I want Arkansas in the playoff. I literally think money could have changed hands, dude. I really think Alabama could have paid somebody.
The games just don't matter. Like, what do you?
No,
I don't understand.
They decided who they wanted to be in the Final Four at the beginning of the season. Kind of like Coach Leach said.
It was whoever was going to win the SEC, no matter what, was going to be in.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know how the ACC can go 6-4 against the SEC, how Florida State can win 2 games against the SEC, and now they don't matter all of a sudden. Those wins aren't important, and that's not as important as the SEC champ. How does that even remotely compute? How does that?
It makes zero sense. Like, I don't understand. You're a Power 5 team. You go undefeated. They say it's because of the quarterback injury, but so what? Like, if you go by this logic, Ohio State shouldn't have gotten in 2014.
If you go by that logic, their win against Louisville with the third string quarterback
is more impressive.
Is even more impressive. Even more impressive. It's insane. Like, I'm not even me. I think it just means more.
Like, obviously, we think Alabama's a better team. Like, that's not the argument. I think Alabama would beat Florida State. I don't think it'd be a given based on what I've seen from Alabama this year. Interesting question from Dark Sage. College football playoff. What would they have done if Notre Dame was undefeated and among the best in college football? Yes, they would have, because they didn't play in a conference championship.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that is right.
Maddie has a question for you, Chase. NCAA's a mess, but question. Thoughts on Isaiah Elorium coming to Arkansas?
I mean, it's just talent on talent on talent in terms of basketball. I'm about ready to just proclaim us a basketball school, because it's going to be a while till we're good at football. But that's a big time get, man. That is a big time get.
And Jared brings up an interesting point. People always said in the power ratings for this, like, Florida State was not handling their competition. Alabama barely beats Auburn. Yeah. Alabama barely beats USF.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to shit on Arkansas, but Alabama does barely beat Arkansas.
Yeah. And we were not great this season. So,
I don't understand the argument here. Yes, they beat Georgia.
Here's my argument. If this were Clemson at 13-0, would they be?
They'd be in.
They'd be in. Exactly. Clemson has played the exact same weak ass, even weaker ACC schedules.
Much weaker. With Florida State being as down as they were, yes.
And they were considered a shoo-in every single time. So why isn't Florida State getting that same consideration? You really, to me,
it's because there's no way they would kick out the SEC. There's no shot they would ever do it.
I understand there are a lot of televisions in the southeastern part of the country, and yes, I mean, SEC fans, people think it's crazy, but it's true. We do this. We will totally watch it and cheer for the SEC. And we will all be tuned in cheering for Bama to win, because we want to be greatness adjacent, basically. Yes. And I get that there are a lot of televisions in the Southeast, but there are a fuck ton of televisions in Florida, not to mention all the way up and down the Eastern Seaboard. Do you know how many TVs are in ACC country?
A lot.
A lot more than there are in SEC country. And it makes you think that this entire thing is not, I feel like ESPN put their foot down on it. And
I think so, dude, Kirk Herbstreit coming from the jump, just being like, this is my top 4. It means more. Blah, 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 blah. Everyone at ESPN, aside from Booger, was very much going ham for Alabama.
Yeah, no, it's I do think that, especially since it's ESPN's baby, that ESPN is in some sort of cahoots here that got this string pulled.
What a way for the 14 playoff to go out.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that the last year that they have it, we have something to bitch about. Oh yeah. Yeah, Jared makes up a good point because they've got a huge deal with the SEC. That's they're at the point where they're like, hey, just remember next year we are the SEC channel. So doesn't it once again make sense to have the defending national champion like in your stable of schools that you have exclusive rights to broadcast between ABC and ESPN? It's fucked up, man. It's real fucked up.
There's a real big conspiracy, man, like rabbit hole we can go down.
Yeah, I don't, and I honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I guess it technically would be conspiracy rabbit hole, but like, I don't feel like it's necessarily that far outside of the realm of possibility to dub it like QAnon conspiracy theory.
I'm trying to see if there was controversy in the last year of the BCS as well. Doesn't look nearly as bad. It was that Florida State Auburn season.
Yeah. All right.
So we still have the top four. Speaking of which, and Chase, for these top four, I thought I'd make a little thing and relate them each to a Depeche Mode song.
Okay.
So at number 4 we have Alabama, which, speaking of what you were saying in ESPN's relation, I just can't get enough because ESPN can't get enough of the SEC and Alabama.
They can't, specifically Alabama. Yeah. And it's even, God, I mean, they're even paying Nick Saban to go on to the Pat McAfee show every single week.
It's disgusting.
There's another twist for you right there.
They're definitely paying him. I mean, they're pushing the SEC, they're pushing Alabama, and they're pushing McAfee in our faces.
Listen, do I think that Alabama is one of the best 4 teams in the country right now? Yes. Hands
also
down.
Yes.
I definitely do. Do I think that they were whenever they played Texas? Hell no. Hell no. This is a completely different football team.
And people always say 4 best teams. Guess what? If they went by the 4 best teams, you'd still have Georgia in.
You would still have Georgia in. But with Alabama, all I got to say is watch out Michigan, dude. You're getting Nick Saban as a dog, as the 4 seed.
I think that's a great game. I actually think that's a great game.
I think it's a great game, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I think Alabama wins by a touchdown.
I think it's close. I think it's probably here's my let's get into it. So Texas is number 3. I went with Useless by Depeche Mode for that one just because I don't know, man. I just feel useless when I talk about Texas.
Okay, hold on.
Especially the lines here. All your stupid ideals. You've got your head in the clouds. You should see how it feels with your feet on the ground. I hope Texas gets rocked.
I hope Texas gets rocked too. And here's my take on Texas and why I would have left Texas out, put Florida State in, and then put Alabama 4th, even though they lost in the head-to-head to Texas. Is I think that Alabama's early season loss to Texas isn't as bad as Texas's early to mid-season loss to Oklahoma. Because I think that's a very weak, and I know it's very much like circular snake eating itself logic here, but I really think that that loss to Oklahoma was pretty bad considering where they are now.
Jared thinks computer number systems would be a good resolution, like a Bama. Okay, yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I just think, especially with the 12 team, that would be great. Especially with the 12 team, though, there needs to be like automatic qualifiers. You can't just have everything be decided by a committee.
No, there has to be there. It's like the Supreme Court. It's like we need precedent to go off of, or just there's the American law system and civil law in general, where we have precedent, we have common law, things that have been on the books for so long that it's just the law, and that's how we go. And it seems like they've never really settled on what makes a top 4 championship team. Every single year, the criteria is different, and you can't keep doing that. You move the goalposts on Florida State.
Yep, I think
you literally move the goalposts on Florida State. Someone else said that. I'm stealing it from someone, but they're 100% right. I think it was Josh Keatley.
I think FBS, the playoffs for the FBS are the only. They seem like they're the only playoffs decided purely by committee.
Yeah,
it's gross.
It is disgusting.
At number 2, we have Washington. I went with Personal Jesus for this one just because they're holding the flag of the Pac-12, and I want the Pac-12 to go out with a bang so bad.
Between Alabama and Washington, those are the 2 teams I'm rooting for this time.
And at number 1, we have Michigan, the Wolverines.
Disgusting.
I mean, they are a good team, but also we want to give Florida State flack for barely beating a pretty decent Louisville team, with their while having their third string quarterback and relying on defense. Maybe we can give Michigan a little bit of guff for barely beating Iowa, who's a terrible offense with their starting quarterback. Maybe, I don't understand this fucking dual bullshit. Like double speak, where Michigan and Iowa was a very defensive battle, and Michigan just owned Iowa, which they did. They owned them defensively.
Sure.
But like Iowa's offense is like the bottom 3 in the nation.
Yeah, you just beat an Iowa team that didn't have its best player, Cooper DeJean, and it was on its third string quarterback, who is legitimately a tight end, or at least a tight end.
100%.
He's almost like tackle size at this point. But like, why are we putting so much stock into this? We're a Michigan team that had trouble with UNLV.
Here's why I picked this song, by the way. The lyrics for Policy of Truth right here. Now you're standing there, tongue-tied. You better learn your lesson well. Hide what you have to hide and tell what you have to tell.
I hope Michigan gets absolutely thumped. I hope Alabama absolutely thumps Michigan. Like, I didn't know that a team could like make me hate them more. But Michigan's managed the whole free Harbaugh thing. Like, he served a fucking nickel in the pen.
Oh, he died.
Oh yeah. Oh,
he's
been resurrected. He's the resurrected Christ at this point. Like, oh my God. Whenever he thanked God, I was like, if he really went to jail, he would have been thanking Allah because he would join the Nation of Islam while he was in there.
Harbaugh would.
Yeah.
Okay,
Man.
Chase, it's time. Let's recap conference championship games. Obviously, Liberty over New Mexico State. Liberty wins 49-35. Damn shame. Couldn't get my New Mexico State future home.
I thought you had a fighting chance there. That was
early on. New Mexico State come out like running, but Liberty just had the depth that that the other.
Did Pavia get injured?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's what did it to you, man. I think you would have won if Pavia was still there.
Also, like, Liberty should probably consistently be winning the CUSA because they spend like quadruple what everyone else spends.
Oh, they got that Jesus money.
They have so much more money than every other school in the conference.
Dude, their private jet has to be sick.
Washington 34, Oregon 31 for the Pac-12 championship game. What a way for this conference to end. I was tearing up.
It was a hell of a game. I know everyone's saying Jaden Daniels wins the Heisman, but honestly, after that game, after going head-to-head in a Heisman battle, basically with Bo Nix, give it to Penix.
I wouldn't be upset either way. I'd like Penix because I have a future on him, but Daniels for the stats wouldn't bother me because he's been having a crazy season. Penix for like the stats and the storyline aspect.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm very fine with that. Also, I did see someone, I would definitely have switched up how they did the conference championship games. Yeah. I would have had the Pac-12 as the last game. I would have done it Saturday night so you get one last like Pac-12 at dark on Saturday. And I would have moved the MAC to like a Wednesday.
Yes.
I would have done the MAC like Wednesday night championship game would have been perfect.
I mean, honestly, it probably threw off Toledo's rhythm having to play on a Saturday as opposed to playing on a Wednesday night.
I think so. Speaking of which, Miami takes down Toledo 23-14 in the MAC championship.
Dude, good finish to Maction. It wasn't this exactly how you want Maction to win. You take what you think is going to happen and then pick the opposite thing, and then boom, you have a Miami of Ohio win.
I was rolling with Miami of Ohio all year, and shout out Miami of Ohio for getting through adversity. Their starting quarterback, it's something Gabbard, but I forget his first name.
Oh, it's not Blaine Gabbard. It's
his younger brother.
Dickie Gabbert.
We'll go with Dickie. We'll call him Dickie for sure. He's Dickie on our show, Chase.
Hezekiah, is it Hezekiah Gabbert?
Dickie Hezekiah Gabbert goes down early, but Miami of Ohio wins it with defense and special teams, and they get the MAC dub. Texas 49, Oklahoma State 21. Whatever. We don't even need to talk about that much. Oklahoma State, terrible quarterback. And I thought their defense was better.
I think I'm done believing that Mike Gundy can win championships. I think he just completely.
I think he's sold out for Bedlam.
I think he goes into championship games and he's just like, okay, I'm going to do absolutely everything different from what I normally do that got us here.
It
And people
felt
are like,
that way
well,
for sure.
You mean for like a couple plays to break tendencies? He's like, no, guys. I'm going to do everything completely different. You know how we've been running the ball really well with Ollie Gordon? I'm going to come out and throw for a 3-and-out right off the bat.
Boom. And you know what? I'm going to keep doing that with my quarterback that has like 3/4 of a lung.
Yeah, who looks like Brandon Whedon's illegitimate child.
Boise State 45, UNLV 20. Still shout out UNLV.
What a job by Boise State and an interim coach, though.
Yeah. As soon as they got rid of the coach, this team still proves why they're top of the Mountain West.
Who was it? Someone was saying yesterday that Barry Odom is gone to Houston.
I haven't seen any confirmation on that.
Me either. I haven't either. But if he was, I think that would be a hell of a hire for Houston.
I think it'd be a great move. Yeah, I don't see any confirmation on that. Still.
Yeah, I mean, good finish for Boise State. Great season for UNLV.
For sure. Alabama 27, Georgia 24. I think the SEC championship was the best championship.
Agreed. 100% agree.
Great game. Georgia comes out strong with a good start. And this is a good Jalen Milroe game. When he has a good game, it's hard to stop him.
He's not the same quarterback that he was when they played Texas by any means. That offense has evolved so much. He looks way better. They utilize Tommy Rees utilizes his legs well. He's become a better passer. Like, I don't know. You got Jaden Milroe with a chip on his shoulder. Don't be surprised if they jump up and just fucking spank Michigan.
I also will say this is definitely not the same Georgia team of the last couple of years.
No, it's not.
100% it's not. And we've been saying that all year.
They're a little bit thinner in terms of defensive. It's because their entire defense plays for the Philadelphia Eagles now.
Exactly. Like they've just you can't go through that much talent year in and year out and replace them with like transfers and expect to like stay at that level. And of course, like, yeah, Beck is fine, but he's not what they had.
How much does your face itch right now?
It's pretty. My mustache is super
a whole lot.
Yeah,
I feel like those Ring commercials. I think where the robber where he has his mustache popping out of the
little bit, right?
Yeah, look at that.
Troy 49. Oh wait, SMU 26, Tulane 14.
Surprised. I was shocked. I thought Tulane would handle it.
I thought Tulane would handle it too. And as we alluded to earlier, aside from like the fucking that Florida State got, SMU I think was one of the teams that got fucked pretty hard. I think they're the best G5 team.
I agree. I think they proved it because they beat who I thought was the best G5 team in Tulane.
Yep. Like, I don't know. If we're going by these bullshit rules, I don't understand why Liberty should be playing in the
Me either.
New Year's Six Bowl. Shout out SMU. Again, quarterback gets knocked out the game before this one, so do it with a backup. Love this team. Great season.
Yeah.
Troy 49, App State 23. I'll put an asterisk next to this championship game for Troy. I think they still very well may have beaten JMU.
Yeah.
But they were like Troy's the like cream of the crop in the Sun Belt. They're a great team.
And this game was a lot closer too. Like that became just like an avalanche all of a sudden right at the end. I guess what happened was there was a scoop and score, and then plus at that point, App State kind of has to start gambling a little bit, and they just got burned whatever they gambled.
You could argue it was a lot of chicanery at the end.
Yeah.
I just wanted to use that. I don't even know if I used that word right. Florida State 16, Louisville 6. Okay.
They won their clunker.
They did win their clunker. This was a disgusting game. This was gross. But guess what? They fucking won. And Florida State's defense is legit.
They held a Louisville team who was putting up a ton of points on people to 6.
Yes.
6. I'm telling you, Florida State has a big boy defense. Their defense is good enough to win them a national championship, dude.
I think so too.
This is insane.
And Michigan 26, Iowa 0.
Yeah, it's about what we thought. And I would like to say Iowa unders are 12-1 this season. Hands down the best bet in college football.
Easily the best bet of the entire year were Iowa unders. Prayers up for Uncle Rico not cashing his Iowa over a half a point
for
the first half.
First quarter. Oh, yes.
It was first half.
Oh,
just
to watch.
disgusting.
But kind of what you figured. If Iowa can land like a top flight quarterback and keep him healthy,
If they can get a decent quarterback,
if they could get a decent quarterback and maybe like a game breaker of a wide receiver,
that's all they need.
That's literally all they need, and they could be in the conversation.
That or like if they got like a Wisconsin level running back.
Yes.
Watch out.
Yes, if they could get like a Ron Dane sort of running back.
If they get like anything like Jonathan Taylor or anything like that, they either need a good wide receiver or a great running back.
Yeah. And tight ends. They also need.
They'll always have tight ends though.
Well, I know, but just to survive as a program, they always need 50 to 60 tight ends on hand.
Chase, are you ready to go through these bowl matchups?
Let's hear them. By the way, hold on. I heard rumblings earlier that like the entire ACC was about to like skip out on bowl season.
I really kind of hope they do. So I haven't looked at these beforehand, so I don't know.
Okay.
But all the bowl matchups are apparently set. It would be really funny if the ACC just like boycotted bowl season.
Wouldn't you?
Do you think the SEC would have if Alabama got left out?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. It just means more.
It just means more. Also, like, I think that, I don't know.
Some of these matchups.
I think that Alabama can throw a fit, and people will react to it.
People listen.
And give them what they want. And I think that, like, the NCAA is, like, so scared of, like, someone like the SEC just, like, seceding from the union. Like their grandfather. Like
I feel like the SEC and the Big Ten have that kind of sway with the money that they bring in.
Right. Where, okay, like if you see a playoff without which we'll never have to worry about it again, but if you saw a playoff without a Big Ten team and an SEC team, that like all hell would have broken loose. And
so I
I
tweeted about it a little earlier, but this would have been a perfect year in my opinion. Imagine the chaos we would have if it was like pre-BCS.
Oh, man.
And you just had to do like, it was Michigan versus Washington in the Rose Bowl. 2 undefeated teams in the Rose Bowl. You'd have had, Texas, Bama, and the Sugar?
Yeah.
Florida State, who would they have played? Maybe like Ohio State?
They probably would have played Ohio State in the Orange.
Yeah. And you could have like 2 to 3 teams arguing for the national championship?
Yes.
Yes. I kind of want to go back to that.
I was just about to say, do you kind of just miss the BCS days a little bit? Because I kind of do. Like, because at least there was definitive criteria with how like the computers and everything ran.
I hate the committee. I hate the committee with a fiery passion. I think 4 was just a really bad number. I think 2 is whatever. Like 2 is stupid when you look at all the other sports and how they do playoffs.
Yeah.
2 was whatever, but 4 was uniquely bad. I think you could argue 6 would have been okay. You could do 8. You could do 12. I think 4 is just bad.
I think the only fair way to do it is every week is part of a tournament, and it's just whoever survives till the end.
Yeah, because like you can't argue now that the regular season's like a playoff anymore. You can't.
No, it's not. They've literally completely corrupted the system. Yeah, committee is. And we're gonna. The thing is, we'll still run into this sort of bullshit whenever with 12 teams.
Yeah, it'll still be awful with the 12 teams as long as the committee's still doing it. I want to scrap the committee. I say do a 12-team playoff and just use BCS rankings.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate because it's impossible for humans to remove their own personal interests from what's going on.
And I kind of have the take, and like I know we're both degenerates. I know we gamble a lot. The prevalence of gambling and like lines and spreads it's ruined talking about the sport in some regards because people will just be like, "Well, will Florida State be favored in any of these matchups?" Shut the fuck up.
What does it matter? Do favorites win every single game?
Do you think Georgia would not be favored against a rematch with Alabama? Because I think they would. I think Georgia would still probably be favored.
Yes, it would be a lot like Georgia's first national championship in a long time, a couple of years ago. When listen, Georgia tends to Georgia in the SEC championship game.
It really is like specifically the SEC championship game. They really just fucking shit their pants in that a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I mean, like I tweeted it yesterday. Like, if it's been a while, so if you're new to college football or just forgotten, this is what it sounds like when Georgia's. Like, that's what they just did.
The echoes of Mark Richt.
The echoes of Mark Richt.
Let's get these bowl matchups, Chase. Myrtle Beach Bowl, Saturday, December 16th. Georgia Southern versus Ohio, the Bobcats.
That'll be a nice little matchup.
Hey, so
man,
too.
you put the MAC versus the Fun Belt.
I'll watch.
I got no qualms. I'll watch the shit out of that.
Celebration Bowl, which the HBCU Bowl.
Yeah.
Florida A&M and Howard.
Florida A&M by 6 million. That is a good football team.
That is a good team. Here's our bowl, Chase, the New Orleans Bowl. Jacksonville State versus Louisiana. Get Jacksonville State now. Get them while you can.
Get them while you can. Uncle Rico pointed out, get Jacksonville State while you can. That is a good football team.
That is a capital G good football team.
And I'm so glad that they made it to a bowl game this year.
Dude, they're really blessing us with this MAC versus Sun Belt. Cure Bowl. Miami of Ohio, the winner of the MAC versus App State.
That's pretty good too.
That's a good matchup.
That's a great matchup.
New Mexico Bowl. Fresno State versus New Mexico State.
Poor Fresno State.
I think that's a sneaky good matchup too, though.
I think it's a sneaky good matchup, but it feels like a fuck you to Fresno to go to New Mexico.
It does feel like a home game for New Mexico State.
Yeah, man. And that Fresno State team is good. Capital G good, too.
LA Bowl in Inglewood, California. UCLA and Boise. I think that's actually a good matchup, though.
Don't you just kind of hope that Boise wins and it's the death nail for Chip Kelly?
No, he's staying. He's staying, baby. He's staying.
I also wish that this wasn't in SoFi and that they just played it at a random high school in Inglewood, California.
It'd be very funny.
Yeah.
It's just that's like a home game for UCLA.
Yeah, man.
Independence Bowl, Texas Tech versus Cal. Let's fucking go. I got to bet on Cal again.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. Independence Bowl. That's out in Shreveport, isn't it?
Yes, it is, baby.
Yeah. That's a classic bowl game. That's a bowl game that deserves to be elevated in status, I think, because the Independence Bowl is a classic matchup, man.
Monday, December 18th, the Bahamas Bowl, temporarily renamed the famous Toastery Bowl because it's not played in the Bahamas this year. They're playing it in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
It's Western Kentucky versus ODU.
Plucky ODU surprising me going to a bowl game.
I'm surprised too. Good for them.
Yep.
Tuesday, we have the Frisco Bowl in Frisco, Texas. Marshall versus UTSA.
Man, that's Frisco, Texas is just becoming UTSA's second home, I think. I want to say this is the third year in a row they've played in the Frisco Bowl.
I think they've been kind of like calling it home. It reminds me of like the Bo Pelinier of Nebraska where we played in the Holiday Bowl, which felt like 4 times in a row.
Where's that one? Is it San Diego?
Holiday Bowl. I mean, we'll find it eventually. Holiday Bowl. Yep, in San Diego.
Yep.
The Boca Raton Bowl. University of South Florida versus Syracuse. That is a shit show.
Oh, my God.
That is awful.
Befitting of the municipality of Boca Raton, which I do want to point out, I believe is Italian for rat's mouth.
Yes. The Gasparilla Bowl, Friday, December 22nd. Georgia Tech versus UCF in Tampa, Florida.
I had been calling Arkansas State to the Gasparilla Bowl for the longest time. That's a shame. But
they're coming up, though.
UCF.
Georgia Tech, UCF.
I feel like Georgia Tech by 1 million, honestly.
I feel like the same. Again, bowl games are going to be super tricky. You have to see who's opting out.
True,
and everything. Like you have to completely change your way of handicapping.
Yep.
Saturday, December 23rd, the Birmingham Bowl, Troy versus Duke. Good game. 2 good defenses. This is a good one.
Yeah, 2 good ones, and then you're dealing. I think what makes this fair is that Mike Elko's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe sort of a home game for Troy being in Birmingham, being in Alabama still, but
True, but Troy's like down like South Alabama. Like it's a trek to get to. Alabama's a bigger state than you think it is, I think. Well,
Here's
not you, but the royal you, the editorial you.
Here's Arkansas State for you, Chase. The Camellia Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, that was going to be the other one that I thought it would be.
This is a tough one for you, Chase. It's Arkansas State versus Northern Illinois.
Oh, son of a bitch. Against Bruce. But still, we get a badass Sun Belt MAC matchup, dude.
They're really killing it with the Sun Belt MAC connection.
Man. Yes, man. Maction versus Fun Belt. I just right into those veins. And buy the stuff that you're putting in my veins, probably from a guy who's dressed like Jim and I.
Yeah, you got to find a guy like this. They'll get you the good stuff.
Bandana brown like the dope daddy shooting in the kitchen.
The Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas. Air Force versus JMU.
Banger game.
Banger game. JMU, I don't know if their coach is going to coach this game or not.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch because JMU has all of its JMU-iness and then triple option.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Taking the potato bath, that French fry bath.
Georgia State versus Utah State.
Okay. So we get Fun Belt versus Mountain Best.
They're really killing it with this MAC versus fucking Sun Belt. The 68 Ventures Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Our Eastern Michigan versus South Alabama.
Man, I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be real hard for Eastern Michigan there. But I think that's a good matchup.
Eric, we were a year early on Georgia State.
Yep.
That's going to be a really hard game for Eastern Michigan. It's going to be really hard. Obviously, we're going to be rooting for them, for our boys, but that's going to be a real tough one.
They needed some crazy MAC shit just to get to a bowl game.
I'm trying to, Chase, we got to find out which game we're going to stream this year. That's in the running. I think it's it's on a Saturday, but I don't know if I want to see Eastern Michigan get rolled.
You give me that Camellia Bowl, or you give me nothing at all.
You want to do Arkansas State, Northern Illinois?
Yeah, I'll Wolves up for it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we're calling it right now. The Jimnasium stream will be the Camellia Bowl, December 23rd. Be ready.
That's what I'm talking about.
Las Vegas Bowl, Northwestern versus Utah. Let's go.
Let's go, Northwestern. If anyone deserves a trip to Las Vegas after having just a fantastic season, it's the head coach from Northwestern. I hope he dies under a mountain of cocaine and hookers before.
I do too. Jared wants us to do the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We'll see who's playing, but it's going to be really hard to overseat the Camellia Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Northwestern. I think Northwestern Utah's a great game too, based on what Utah has available. If this is real Utah, it'd be a blowout, but no, this is going to be fun.
No, this is non-camerizing Utah.
The Hawaii Bowl, San Jose State versus Coastal Carolina. I think that's a pretty good game.
Could be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesday, December 26th, the Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green versus Minnesota. Gross.
The Quick Lane. See, I would have thought Eastern Michigan would go somewhere where muffler or oil change related. That seems like a more natural fit.
It really does, right? It seems more of a fit for them.
No, hold on. Who was it again in the Quick
Bowling
Lane?
Green and Minnesota.
Gross. That is a disgusting football game.
That's gross. Yeah, Eric, under City in that one.
Yes.
First Responder Bowl, Texas State versus Rice. I feel like this
Rice
is a
made
game
a bowl game?
Yeah, dude, they did. Hell yeah,
Texas
they did.
State made a bowl game?
Dude, remember we were talking about Texas State and how crazy their season was for the first 6-7 weeks?
Yeah, they were a wagon for the first 6-7 weeks, and then
Rice was never a wagon. Rice was just crazy from the jump. Rice was
just insanity, yeah.
JT Daniels finally hanging it up. This is JT
Daniels will never hang it up.
He'll dig somewhere and find another year of eligibility.
Your starting quarterback at Iowa next year, JT Daniels.
The Guaranteed Rate Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona, Chase. Kansas Jayhawks versus UNLV.
That's a game.
That's
two really good rushing offenses matching up against each other. That might be under City 2 just because of the play style, but
I might just go overs because Kansas' defense is terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Wednesday, December 27th, the Military Bowl, Tulane versus Virginia Tech. Okay.
Give me Tulane. Give me Tulane.
Yeah, give me Tulane.
And Crayon, Tulane takes out Crayon Drones or whatever his name is.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl, Chase. So which one of these coaches do you want to see dumped in Mayo?
None of them, but go ahead.
You have North Carolina, so Mac Brown.
No!
Or West Virginia, Neil Brown, the Brown Bowl.
It's obviously Neil Brown because I've stated many, many times that if you're going to dump mayonnaise on an octogenarian, that shit needs to be behind a paywall.
Either way, whoever wins this one, we're a winner. I think that's actually a sneaky good matchup too.
Why are we so desperate to see Matt Brown covered in mayonnaise to do this multiple years?
I love it so much. The Holiday Bowl, Louisville versus USC. Okay.
I'd
probably no Caleb Williams.
You want to talk over city? That's going to be over city right there.
Yeah.
A lot of points in that game.
The Texas Bowl, Oklahoma State versus Texas A&M.
It's for a trophy, so Texas A&M by 1 million.
Yeah, it's a bowl game, so yeah, probably fade Gundy here.
Yep.
Thursday, December 28th, the Fenway Bowl, SMU versus Boston College. I feel like that is so disrespectful to SMU.
Fucking disrespectful. And you know what? That is a bowl game that I still maintain just shouldn't exist.
They're playing it in Boston. It's gross. This bowl game, Fenway Bowl sucks.
I feel like they'll have an end zone that's like missing a corner because that place is a fucking fun house.
This will give me flashbacks to Cashman Field.
Yes.
The Pinstripe Bowl.
Also a game that shouldn't exist.
Eric is probably right. SMU may not show up. Like, they might be just deflated for this bowl game.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Touchdown Rhett Lashley. He's in Arkansas, and he shows up for things.
Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers versus Miami. And you're having Rutgers in the Bronx? You doing it? Give me Rutgers.
And then you have
fucking Miami, Florida. They don't give a shit.
I mean, this is just made perfectly because I have a theory that like 90% of the people who attend the University of Miami are from New Jersey anyway. That's what Florida State is.
It works.
Yeah.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl, and I'm just going to tell you right now, Jared, we're not replacing the Camellia Bowl with this. It's a good matchup, though. NC State versus K-State.
That's a pretty good matchup.
It's a good matchup, but
two quiet teams getting together to make some funda. That's what I think.
Alamo Bowl, Oklahoma, Arizona.
That's going to be a hell of a ball game.
That's a game. That's a good game.
That's a banger of a ball game right there.
Friday, December 29th, the Gator Bowl. There you go. Eric's calling right. Yeah, give me Rutgers.
Yeah.
The Gator Bowl. Clemson versus Kentucky.
I'll take the bomb. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a shit game. I'll probably take Clemson.
I will take the bomb falling on the stadium. That is, I know right now I shouldn't be using the word bomb considering I'm wearing a ski mask, but I will take the bomb falling on a Clemson Kentucky matchup, please and thank you.
The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Great.
Notre Dame versus Oregon State.
That's a good matchup for the Sun Bowl. Considering we watched Central Michigan and who was it a couple years ago?
It was Central Michigan and I think San Diego State.
No, it wasn't even San Diego State. They had to find like a last-minute replacement because of COVID.
Oh, that's right. I'll look it up right now, Chase. But that's a good matchup.
Did they play UTEP?
No, the Sun Bowl last year was Pitt UCLA.
Well, the year before that, I meant. Oh, Washington State. It was CMU over Washington State.
Yeah, it was right. CMU Washington State because of COVID.
Yeah, and we live streamed that one.
We did live stream that one because our fucking Chippewas won that shit, baby.
We have a history of live streaming some pretty banger matchups, so look out.
Dude, the Kansas-Arkansas one?
Yeah, dog. Oh. Yeah.
Liberty Bowl.
A couple times.
The Libibity Bowl. Guess what, Chase? There's going to be a fight in this game because it's Memphis and Iowa State.
Death, taxes, and Memphis getting into a fight after the bowl game. Those are the things that are certain in life, and I am not ready to give up on.
Memphis playing in the Liberty Bowl? Are you serious?
That's just
Hey, you had a great season. Now just stay the hell where you are.
Get
That's
fucked,
not- that's-
Iowa State. You got to go to a Memphis home game.
Yeah, man, for sure. I will have in-laws in town for that one, I'm sure.
The Cotton Bowl. Ohio State, Missouri.
That could be a pretty good matchup.
I think that could be, again, we'll have to see opt-outs and everything, but I think Ohio State would probably have more opt-outs that would make this actually a closer game. I think this could be a really good game.
I think so.
Saturday, December 30th, the Peach Bowl. Penn State, Ole Miss.
That would be a great football game.
I think that's a good one, too. It's kind of like teams that are like, I don't know how to rank them.
Yeah. Yeah. Ole Miss is hard to make sense of. They're hard to make heads or tails of because they're
They both lose to the best teams they play every year.
they both lose to the best teams they play every year. And then Lane Kiffin is a degenerate gambler who goes for every fourth down just to feel alive.
And disgusting cover James Franklin.
The disgusting. This is the game that I have the most interest in betting, hands down.
I'm in. Eric's on
I'm in.
Ole Miss.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see.
Music City Bowl. Auburn versus Maryland.
Oh man, Auburn made it to the music shitty, eh?
Yeah, they did.
Well, they're gonna win.
We're rooting for Maryland, though.
We're 100% rooting for Maryland.
Orange Bowl. Florida State, Georgia.
I still think the defenses are so good that this is going to be a good one, and I think
I think it'll be a good game.
Understown,
Yes.
Understown for sure.
The Arizona Bowl. The Barstool Arizona Bowl.
Oh God, they're doing this again.
Yeah, they still have the Arizona Bowl. I think it's also being broadcast on the CW, though. Wyoming versus Toledo.
You can catch it with reruns of Moesha. Who is it?
Wyoming and Toledo. I'm in.
Hey, I'm in too. That's a nice little matchup, man.
That's a good matchup.
Yeah, man.
I'm so in. Monday, January 1st. The ReliaQuest Bowl. LSU, Wisconsin.
Nothing.
LSU's gonna fucking rip that ass, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Unless there's no, if there's no Jaden Daniels though,
Yeah, he might opt out. It would
He
make
might
sense
opt
for
out.
him to opt out.
and then Wisconsin has a shot, and that would just turn from like an all right game that LSU can roll to a shit fest.
Yeah, dude. There's nothing attractive about that football game.
The Citrus Bowl, Iowa, Tennessee,
That might be a good matchup.
under.
Under. Oh, I mean all of them. Yeah, I would love to go 13-1 with Iowa unders this season.
I'm ready for Iowa to disappoint me in a fucking bowl game again, though. I had them in Kentucky the last 2 years. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
The Fiesta Bowl, Oregon versus Liberty. Okay.
Oregon by 1,000,000, dude.
Yeah, Liberty.
Listen, I will give the little guy. I give little guys chances. I do that. That's what I do. I'm that guy giving little guys chances because their odds are usually pretty good. And I'm going to tell you that Liberty has zero chance to win this game or cover.
Yes. The Rose Bowl. It's kind of bullshit. I really don't think Michigan should be number one, probably, but whatever. Michigan, Alabama, Rose Bowl. I think this is a great game. This is a fantastic game.
That is the one thing with the CFP that I do not disagree with.
I think both games are great.
I think both games will be good games.
Guess what? They were both good last year, too.
It's true. It's true. I think that I saying it now. I will always jump at the opportunity to take Alabama and Nick Saban as a dog in these sort of games. Like it comes so rarely.
You probably want to do that. You probably want to do that sooner than later. I bet by the time this is like all said and done, I don't think Alabama will be a dog. Like closing.
I bet you Michigan the books love Michigan, man.
They do. I don't know, man. They only opened as like a 2.5. I could see this closing to like even money either way.
You think just it will close just straight up pick 'em?
I think it'll probably close to a pick 'em.
Okay.
And then
I want to say that they'll keep like Michigan will stay at very least 1.5 point favorite.
I could see it. It's already down to 1.5 from 2.5.
Okay, maybe not.
It's quick, so I don't know. The other thing with these bowl games, since you have to wait so long to do them, they jump so drastically up and down.
Right.
And then last but not least, the Sugar Bowl, Washington versus Texas. I think this is also a great matchup.
Great game, and I mean,
horns down for days. I also think, I think Texas actually matches up better against Bama and Michigan than they do Washington.
Yeah.
I think Washington, with the pass catchers they have and the dynamic offense they can throw out, they are the team that is more different than the other teams with just the big uglies and the big dudes that want to just smash you.
I agree. Yeah. We'll see. I feel like Texas was kind of gifted just a easy schedule this year. Let's see what they do when they played against what was the weakest Alabama team at the time that I had ever seen for that win. And that's what they're hanging their hat on. I want to see them against a Heisman candidate quarterback like Michael Penix, and I want to see how that shakes out for them. And
I'm excited for this matchup.
I'm excited
for this matchup.
What's your dream scenario? Who's your dream final two?
I don't have the hate for Michigan that you do, but it would be very nice to see Alabama, Washington in the championship game.
Yeah.
And have Washington win it all.
I'm Alabama, Washington, and I'm happy with either, honestly.
Eric, I think this is kind of where I'm in agreement too. I don't know if Washington has the depth. I think I'm going to bet, you couldn't, I think the over-under in that is 64 in Washington, Texas. And that's probably about right. That's going to have to be a pointsy game.
I think anytime that you put a Pac-12 team and a Big 12 team together, that you're legally mandated to have at least 60 points for the total.
You have to.
Have to.
It is a must. Chase, you want to talk a little NFL?
No, Jim, I feel like I have bugs in my face skin.
That's fair. This has been very itchy. This has been very, very itchy.
It's been an extremely itchy episode of the Jimnasium.
We're not talking NFL today, folks, because we don't need to, because it's only week 13, so there's still a lot of NFL to still be played. But any parting thoughts on the college football playoff or what we're doing? This is the last year. Last year, the Pac-12. Last year, the 14 playoff. Everything will change next year.
Yeah, I'm not ready for college football to change like it's about to. Because I think you said it a couple times right before the beginnings start, before the season started, that drink it in because this is the last time the college football is ever going to look like this.
Dude, during the Pac-12 championship game, they had all the mascots out there and they were doing pictures and whatnot. I was actually tearing up because everything's the regionality of the sport for now is going away. Eric is very actually right. We kind of got the scenario where it's 2 SEC teams and 2 Big Ten teams in the college football playoffs.
Right. All it does is sell. That's what it did, man. That's what they did. That is what they.
They've been trying to do that since the inception of the playoff, is get 2 Big Ten and 2 SEC teams, and they finally ended with it.
My final thought on the CFP is just corruption. Corruption.
Oh,
and it goes straight to the top.
Corruption, hands down. Obviously, we're still going to watch college football next year. Obviously. I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to love it. I don't like the direction things seem to be going with the way things are changing. I don't like the giant conferences. If it were up to me, you'd have a bunch of 10-team conferences at most. Everyone plays everybody. And then you could still have a 12-team playoff and figure it out from there.
Yeah, I really feel like we're just 1 year closer to having one of these conferences break away to be their own league with their own playoffs and their own championship that, and they don't play anybody else.
Eventually the Big Ten and SEC might just do that. They might just combine and do a super conference, and then they're their own thing.
And they consider themselves to be the one infallible truth in college football. And then we're back where we were in the 1920s whenever, national championships were decided by sports writers.
Is it the Pac-12 known as the Conference of Champions? Yes.
To Bill Walton, yes, it is. No one has done a welfare check on Bill Walton for me yet to see how he's handling all this.
Probably not great.
Not great. Well, he likes the dead. He's probably cool.
All right, folks, that'll do it for this episode of the Jimnasium. The college football playoff is corrupt. We know this to be true. We
And
love
this
you
is a
guys,
protest.
and we'll see you next time for another episode.
We'll see you.
of the
We'll
G-
see you.
We'll be fucking seeing
We'll
you.
see
We'll
you.
see you guys. We'll be